this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with our 4th league with Incinerator Burn. This is a friendly reminder if you like what you're seeing on the channel, and especially lightning bolt based content in Modern, whether it be Burn, whether it be Jund, whether it be to Shadow variants, please consider subscribing to the channel, as we aim to be the most informative Modern bolt based channel for YouTube, as well as a little bit of Pioneer and Legacy on occasion. So, main deck feels pretty solidified. We played this exact configuration in the main deck 2 previous leagues, and it felt pretty reasonable overall. The 8 1-drop enablers, still playing Goblin Guy and Swift Spear. There are still people in the Burn Discord that are talking about getting rid of Swift Spear, and I'm just sitting here going, that's crazy talk. But beyond that, this situation allows us to have the maximization of drawing Incinerator in their opening hand, maximization of turning it on without going too far down the deep end. I'm still not a huge fan of Seal of Fire individually as a card, but when you're enabling so many other things, it's perfectly fine. Incinerator has proven very powerful, whether it's on turn 2 or turn 3, can take over games. And then the Incinerator Boros Charm interaction just is kind of insane. Being able to double strike somebody for 12 damage is just absurd. Your Boros Charm's going from 4 damage to 6 damage in a lot of spots is quite powerful. Beyond that, main changes in this list are the sideboard. I did away with all the graveyard hate. We've played Dredge once, and the problem with the graveyard hate against Dredge is unless you're dedicating enough slots to it, it just isn't enough usually. And there aren't too many other slots as a burn deck that I really want to actively bring in graveyard hate. One thing I have noted is a little bit of vulnerability to things like goblins and elves and devoted druid and etc. So we're upping the amount of anti-creature stuff in the sideboard, a couple copies of Searing Blood, and then a 3rd copy of Path to Exile over some of the other stuff that we've been running. Primarily the 2 Rest in Peace and the 1 Grafdigger's Cage. It's the one main change to this build, so we're going to run through one more league before I probably move on and start working on some other stuff and revisit this probably in a couple of days once I've had time to let the data set and kind of let the format settle up a little bit from the new changes from M21, whether it be Snoop, whether it be Incinerator, whether it be so many other cards that have been added to the format. There's a couple cards I've seen pop up with people testing in some lists, including some spots in some weird places, like over on Tectonic Edge's channel. If you happen to like Tron, he's trying that new 7-drop Ori card that taps for 5 mana that you can basically add any mana to the mana pool for it. So go ahead and check out Tectonic Edge if you happen to like Tron content. But anyways, let's get into some matches here with Incinerator Burn. Back here for match number 1 in the 4th league with Incinerator Burn. Seems fine. Swift Spear into Eidolon with Seal of Fire backup if necessary to disrupt whatever our opponent's doing, as well as Rift Bolt, so this hand's pretty reasonable overall. So some type of snow deck most likely. Okay, maybe to Shadow. Crabvine. Alright, instantly punished for removing all graveyard heat from our sideboard. Alright, so I think our goal is to just buy as much time as possible. 7. So our opponent's at 9. Five. Seal of Fires are going to be really awkward here. Draw something good here. Alright, that qualifies. Alright, so we're up against Crabvine. Unfortunately, we don't have any dedicated graveyard heat. Boros Charms can probably come out here. We'll draw at least one copy of that. Pass for their big idiots like Vengevine and Angler. Copies of Searing Blaze for their smaller dudes. We could go the Skullcrack route. Problem is most of their milling occurs in the first couple turns when we can't really hold up mana. So I think we're just going to go like that. Try to contain their board as best as possible while counteracting what they're doing. Sounds actively pretty bad. Like, double Incinerator hands are going to be bad to begin with, and then Pain lands when our opponent's trying to race us, and not really any way to turn Incinerator on. So we're going to mulligan that hand. This hand likewise is a little less risky, I guess, but still not fantastic. I think we do keep, though, as Riftbolt does enable us to potentially turn on Incinerator. Now that our opponent is aware that we are a aggressive deck. Yeah, not the worst draw, I suppose. Source of mana that doesn't deal us much damage. It's going to draw Creeping Chill, which is nice. Because with a swamp, they have no way of milling that. Yep, that's really painful. So I can either take two stances here. I can either try to Eidolon and race, but I think Eidolon's point in this game is past. I think we just gotta try to hope to spike a burn spell next turn and can establish Incinerator. It's going to have crabs next turn. Yep, Mag Angler's a thing. This for 4. Alright, well, I guess we gotta risk going face and hope we rip a burn spell here. Alright, Skewer's not terrible. Okay. Opponent with a Hedron Crab in hand and a Creeping Chill in hand. Don't think there's anything here that punishes us for that particular play. Yep. Yep. See how aggressively our opponent wants to block here. Alright. I had a chill, we're dead. Of course they had a chill. I'm much more willing to have Eidolon on the play. I think the second league showed like the ultimate upside of 4 copies of Incinerator. I do think the subsequent leagues have showed kind of the weaknesses of playing 4 Incinerators in your deck. Yeah, Sand's fine. Depending on how many chump blockers they're able to generate. One of the few nice things about playing Seal of Fire is being able to play it preemptively and not have to like target something necessarily. Yeah, Crab very much has to die. Triggers. Give them the option to block first. Sure. 2 Creeping Chills. Looks like a Gurmag Angler. So, problem is if I play Eidolon and they mill into Creeping Chill, we're just dead. If I don't play Eidolon, then they're not dead on board, so I guess I take the risk here. Alright, do you hit the last Creeping Chill? You do not. Alright. Alright, so we escaped against Crabvine without any type of dedicated graveyard hate. Feels nice. And on to the next match. We're back for match number 2. We're on the play. It's Lutri the Spellcaster. Okay. So we're going to be up against a pile. Trigger. Mountain. Okay. Shocking? No shocking. Okay. Beep, 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 do, 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 do. Okay. So we have no idea what to play around here, so guide. Trigger Field of Ruin. Trigger Royal Scions. So do this. Alright, so opponent has Royal Scions potentially lined up for next turn. Okay. So are they dead? I think they're 1 point short of being dead here. 3, 6. Well, hello there. Triggers. Archmage's Charm. Archmage's Charm. Your opponent, the only thing they could be considering here would be Force of Negation, which even that's kind of whatever here. Go. How is it, Viceroy? Okay. Sure. Non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. Alright. Chandra's Incinerator confirmed 2 strong. Alright, so deck with red removal, Core Firewalker maybe. Do we even want Firewalker? Like, red decks, if they have any life gain, or like Dragon's Claw and such, and they can maximum have like 1. I think our main deck might just be good enough in this matchup. Like, obviously, we have an excellent main deck, or not excellent main deck, a pretty streamlined main deck, and without like a consistent game plan to our opponent's cards, it's just like anything we board in is kind of a crapshoot, because they could have like 1 of Brazen Borrower, 1 of Snapcaster Mage, 1 of Vendilion Click. You know, there's any kind of number of cards they could have, and as it being only a 1 of, I really can't play around it. Okay, so, yep, they reveal Lutri again. This hand isn't particularly good. We have no turn 1 plays, no way to turn on Incinerator. This hand is excelente. So, question is, what are we putting back here? Keep land. Alright, really glad we put back the land. Fully expecting us to get like bolted, tar fired, burst lightning, whatever. we gonna get hit with a thing in the ice? Ancestral vision, sure. Alright, well, I mean, if they have another bolt effect, they have another bolt effect. It's kind of whatever. We've got to fight through them. Anger of the Gods. Snapcaster Mage. Maybe they'll take the bait and tread with this. I'm kind of hoping they do. Triggers. Nope. A lot of cards, draw a lot of cards. Brazen Barber, sure. When it's drawing, Brazen Borrower that we know about. Trigger, put you to 8. This is countered on the way down by something. Yep, sure. Yep. And GG. Looks like GG. Alright, nice. 2-0 start. Back here for match number 3. Decidingly burned opening hand. Lava Spike into Eidolon. Couple lands. Hand's pretty reasonable. Obviously, this hand has a weakness to mirror matches and to something like, yeah, something like this. No burn spells in our opener. Well, no creature dealing with burn spells, I should say. And they kept a 2-lander. Okay. 1-lander, I meant. We are going to be punished by our land draw, unfortunately. Okay, they drew a second land. Metamorphose. Would have been good to have Eidolon down here, I suppose. Firewalkers and Paths and Searing Bloods. So we actually have plenty for this matchup. As well as we don't want to forget our Smash to Smithereens. Decide what they want to do with their turn. Sure. Guess they were doing some math if they could kill us. Alright, well, let's go to 4, kill this guy. Yep, probably dead here. Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems kind of pointless to point a bullet at her face unless you have lethal. Alright, so prowess, probably 1 path, 1 core firewalker. They showed us the Sunbaked Canyon, so it's possible they have firewalker instead of whatchamacallit. But with the big boomstick, I'm not sure that we particularly care anymore about that stuff, so I think it's just the 4 copies of Boros Charm out and bring in these 4 cards, and then if we happen to see Dragon's Claw, maybe go to a setup where we have Smash in the second game, or the third game if there is one. They didn't see the big boomstick, so they don't know to play around it. His hand is fine. It's like not exciting though. I think this is one of those, if our Swift Spear lives, we have an insane hand. If it doesn't, then our hand is kind of mediocre. Wow, they just stone cold play Swift Spear. Sure. Does not look like they are on whatchamacallit version of the deck. Killing Fiend. Killing Fiend is perfectly fine. Delta block. Pass on blocking. Let's path that. Sure. I'm just going to go to combat, not play anything. This connects their dead, so... Kill your threat. And okay. Sure. Yep. They have a Bedlam Reveler here. Firebolt, sure. Yep, of course the last card, the Bedlam Reveler. Land or spell on your dead. Well, land or non-creature spell. Well, duck. Good chance we're dead here. Cool. Losing to Prowess feels about normal for Burn. I don't know what it is about me in this matchup, but I always seem to lose against Prowess with Burn. Back for match number 4. Moving right along in this league. Fortunately, the one lander, this is a mulligan. Guess we keep this one back idle on. Beep, 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 beep. It's a merfolk player, maybe? Oh, gobos. Alright, well, this is not exactly the best hand against gobos. Triggers. And land. Snoop. Yep. Could die next turn. Oh, Jiminy. Okay. Hmm. Dead on turn 3 if our opponent knows what the heck they're doing. Okay. So dumb. Okay, they do know what they're doing. Cool. Alright. Run the core Firewalkers, bring in the Path to Exiles, bring in the Searing Bloods, down Boros Charms, go down Eidolons. Sprite. Bring in the 2 smashes, because we've seen chalices out of these decks before, and the fact that they also might have, well, they're likely an Ether Vial deck, and they probably have chalice in the post-board configs, so yes, I'd like to play first. This hand would be great if we could guarantee a second land. Unfortunately, we can't. So this hand's fine. Not super exciting. We put back the Fiery Islet. Meyer, give her a land, because why not? Tarfire here. Guess we'll find out in a minute. No Tarfire. Okay. Unfortunately, this basically means if we don't draw Incinerator unless it's exactly next turn, it's going to be pretty much a dead card. Okay. That's 6, 9. Interesting. Well, hard enough to win this matchup without that kind of tech, and alright. Well, that was a good top deck. Mm-hmm. See, my boy just comes down and dominates, or girl. Could be either or, I guess. It's comes down and dominates the battlefield. And it's quite likely you don't have an answer to it. Alright. Okie dokie. So both of us busting out our M21 cannons. It is reasonable. Not exciting, but reasonable. Especially if we get brutality again. It's kind of miserable. Okay, sure. Makes life a little more difficult on the home team, but so maybe they only kept one lander. Seems unlikely, but maybe they only kept one lander. Matron. Okay. They've got the brutality. Cool. Some ways I really don't want to play the control game in this matchup, just because only a limited number of blaze effects, it's just not good. But at least we have Snoop answered. Okay, so they kept that hand largely on the basis of collective brutality. Cool. It's just trying to force us to play the resource game, which obviously isn't great for us, because we don't have a whole lot of resources. Sure. What are you gonna go get with Big Mama? Typical path is not exactly the best here. Simply the best. Alright, we're getting closer at least. Again, it'd be nice to actually draw something here. Fire an eyelet. So just go ahead and crack this, see what happens. Okay, just need one more bolt effect. Don't think there's anything I care about out of a mostly Nice. So far, we're 2-1 against Gobos. So, it's a heck of an interesting matchup now with Incinerator versus Snoop. So, on to the 5th and final match. Back for the 5th and final match in the set. Versus a Garuda deck. Well, this seems familiar. Lots of one-man plays. I'm going to keep it. Once again, it's risky. Land, please. My land, I meant I wanted another one-man play. Sure. What you got? Farseek. I don't want to draw Farseek. Interesting. And if we draw a second land next turn, the Sand just gets to go pew 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 pew. Well, it's going to be another case of the one-lander not paying off. We need a land, please. Before they start doing broken, disgusting things. Last turn, this one's attacking. Acid Moss is mildly annoying. Alright, see what you got next turn. Going to 7, of course. Yep, that's a good rip. Okay. Alright, see what you got. Don't care about, well, gotta be mindful of them trying to blow that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's still Garuda. Ashen Rider is really bad. Yep. Probably blow up my land. Let's get the fetch land in play. Cavern on Demon. Okay, we about to get hit by a Sire of Insanity? That'd be kind of annoying. Okay. All right. So, once again, punish for the one-lander. This deck just seems like a pile of nonsense, but is what it is. Bring the smashes, bring in the... Do I want Wear Tear? I think we're just bringing smashes and a couple skull cracks. We can't drop Chalice on 1 until turn 2. Their turn, which means we get a chance to empty our hand in most circumstances. This hand is reasonable. Not super exciting, but reasonable. So, as much as I want to get both of these Rift Bolts out of my hand, I think because of the risk of Chalice, I really want to get the 1-drops out of my hand, so... And we could have, like, Sakura Tribe Elder next turn to, like, blank our Swizzle Spear. Prefer that they have Caryatid here, but... Yep. Just gets to... Yep. Do the thing here. Yeah, permanent then to sack there, but I think they were dead regardless, so on the play How much of an emphasis do I want to place on... Really don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole there, so... Once again, if they're taking time to do a chalice on turn 2, I think we're okay with that with any type of reasonable hand. We have an answer to a chalice. We have a pretty quick clock. Sign me up, so they say. Incinerator's a bit of a wild card here, whether it's going to be good in this game or not. But even this 6-card hand I'm perfectly happy with. If Smithereens is a dead draw, then we're in good shape. Try them, sure. I still don't understand why they don't fetch before sometimes, but, you know, whatever. Okay. So it feels like a chalice. Nope, carried it. Alright. I want to pass. The more pressure we get on the board, the better off we are. Restoration Angel. Angel's interesting. Yep, sure. Take 5. Go to 9. Go 10. Sorry. And they have Triumph and Restoration Angel in hand. Guess let's see if they have a Garuda here. Coil Engine. Okay. Can we kill them through this? Bolt you, put you to 7. Yeah, I think we just have lethal. Wasn't been counting on Worm Coil Engine, but you know. Alright, nice. Nice. Be back with the wrap up in a sec. So we're back with the wrap up with Inverter Burn here. So 4 leagues, 3 different variants of the deck, 2 4-1s, a 3-2, and a 2-3. So overall, 13 wins, 7 losses, 65% win percentage. Incinerator has some hits and misses. Deck solid. I mean, it's better results than I've been having atypically with burn lately, or regular burn anyway. One thing I've noted about the meta is these Garuda decks have been in a couple leagues. We've seen a lot of Gabos. I think we've seen Gabos like 3 times. We've seen some red mirrors. So, might need to up the number of Firewalkers back to a 3rd one. Not sure still in testing if Incinerator 3 or 4 are correct. Obviously, like, there's some hands and progressions where it's worse. Some hands and progressions where it's awesome. Never seem to want to draw more than 1. So maybe that leans down to us having 3 as opposed to 4. Really don't know the final numbers. Definitely need to do more testing, but I do think this is going to be a staple of burn variants moving forward. Someone made the comment about there being a fight between Luris Burn and Chandra's Incinerator. That might end up being correct, although with Incinerator, I'm not sure necessarily how grindy burn needs to be necessarily, which is what Luris kind of plays to. Regular Burn's still solid, like, don't get me wrong, but it felt like it was a little bit weak in the meta, and then with the presence of Gabos everywhere, with the Snoop combo kind of being a pushed thing right now, I don't know that regular Burn's a good thing to be on, because we are fairly vulnerable to the regular Gabos game plan, and deck's fun. I mean, what more can I say? I underestimated Incinerator. It's pretty good. And buddy, that's all, folks. I'm going to be taking a break from Incinerator Burn, probably working on some John Death Shadow and a couple other things for several days. So we will revisit this shortly as I have some other things to prepare for. One other thing to note, we are at 38 qualifier points. We need 40 for the event on, I believe it's July 11th, which I'm off, fortunately. So that'll be something I'm working towards, testing for that a lot. So if you see me like hunkering down and like deliberately working on decks, that's kind of what's going on right now. But yeah, deck's a lot of fun, and I would certainly tell people to work on it if they can. So this has been John for MTG Nexus with our 4th league with Chandra's Incinerator, Burn, and Modern.